Elden Ring has katanas, and I bet you weebs wanna know what the best ones are. Okay, you've convinced me, I'll tell you. D tier. Okay, I'm kidding. There literally isn't a bad katana in this game. They're all at least okay, so no D tiers this time. C tier. Elden Ring's weakest katana is the Dragonscale Blade. I don't understand why so many people think that this is a good katana. Yes, this is an okay weapon. And it even has a unique Ash of War called Ice Lightning Sword. It's not a very good Ash of War because it locks you in place for such a long time, and the buff isn't even that good. The weapon doesn't do crazy damage, it's kinda short, and most importantly, it doesn't have bleed, and it can't be put on it. Literally every other katana except one other in this game has bleed, but this one doesn't. Hell, it doesn't even get any special trait on it. The Ice Lightning does look pretty cool though, but as a buff it's not good, it's just okay. And it doesn't even last long enough to kill anything other than the Soldier of Godric maybe. Elden Ring's second weakest katana is the Uchigatana, or Baby's first katana. Even though it's the second weakest katana in the game, it's still really good, because I don't think this game has bad katanas. This one though is so average compared to everything else on this list, but since bleed is so fucking busted, it gets itself into C tier. B tier. Meteoric Ore Blade is up first, and it's pretty good. It's got good damage even though it's split between magic and physical. It's got a strong heavy attack that is fully unique to this weapon, and yeah, it looks goofy as hell. The heavy attack does really good poise damage and actual damage. This thing's Ash of War is Gravitas, but you can't change it. And Gravitas is, in my very humble opinion, fucking trash, because it really doesn't have good range or do anything against bosses in general, and Elden Ring puts a heavy focus on bosses. This weapon is also a bit on the shorter side, but that's fine since the damage makes up for it. Last one in B tier is the Serpentbone Blade. This weapon is very good, and it even has innate poison buildup, which is pretty rare for a weapon in this game. Poison is also really good in this game, not for its damage, but because there are several items that boost your damage on poison buildup. The weapon itself does good damage, and its heavy attacks are quick stylish double slashes, and I'm an appreciator of style. Sadly, this weapon doesn't get bleed, and the Ash of War cannot be switched, but thankfully it's at least good. A tier. The Hand of Malenia is first in A tier. This is a long ass katana that also has good damage. It's got an insane 48 dexterity requirement, which stops most builds from using this weapon. Its Ash of War is Malenia's infamous waterfowl dance. Sadly though, this weapon doesn't get the OP version with its insane range and gap closing, like how Malenia gets. Fucking bitch, always stealing the fun stuff. It does good damage if you manage to hit the full combo, but since I suck at this game, I can never do that. When I first read the name for this weapon after killing Malenia, I actually thought this was her prosthetic hand, you know, which would have been really funny, but sadly it's just this lousy ass katana. Second one in A tier is the that one. And it's also a long ass katana. This is mostly just the Uchigatana with a ton more range and slightly less damage. The range makes up for this damage difference though, because this thing has so much range overall. Otherwise it's just a standard katana, albeit a really good and versatile one. S tier. Moonveil. Yeah, I bet you didn't see that one coming. This thing is pretty fucking OP. The Ash of War comes out in a flash that is almost impossible to react in PvP, especially if the connection is kinda shit, which is, you know, it always is. It also does insane damage, because why not? The beam itself also has a decent amount of range, but if the Ash of War wasn't broken enough, then maybe you'd like some bleed as well. Because, yeah, that's something you also get with this weapon for some reason. Because this weapon wasn't broken enough already. But even though this weapon is insane, it's just B tier compared to what this game's most OP katana is. And Elden Ring's most busted katana is the Rivers of Blood. Yeah, no one saw this one coming. But in all honesty, this thing is insane. It might as well be the game's most broken weapon altogether. It does a shit ton of damage with its Ash of War, and the weapon itself also does really good damage. I don't understand why they thought that an Ash of War with insane damage, a literal mile of range, and millions of bleed procs per second was balanced. But I guess they had to give the noob something to beat Malenia. Well, anyway, that's the video. Like and subscribe so that I don't have to get a real job. Bye!